Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Voki Etefe. I'm here to tell you about The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. This book have received a lot of nods and a lot of recommendations. A lot of people welcome this book because of how amazing and how well written it is. And I think that this is just the debut novel. Chigozie Obioma really outdid himself in this book, honestly, because after reading this book last month, I didn't have the words to put it. I, I just said, let me put it on aside. Then I ran to my cousin that recommended this book to me, and I said to her, like, you are very wicked. He did not warn me. This book is set in Nigeria, Akure, a town in Nigeria. Akure is set in the western part of Nigeria, and this is where these boys grew up. And it has a backdrop of the 90s Nigeria. This is a period where military dictatorship was in vogue and all sorts of things were happening in the country at the same time, along with this story. And Chigozie Obioma did well to draw in some external things, some external politics into this narrative. But the major focus is on these four brothers. They're actually 6 children, and but you know how siblings relationship are. The other 2 ones, the smaller ones, what's their name? I've forgotten their name. I think it's the smaller ones, David and Nkem. Thank you, yes. David and Nkem were at the side, while these 4, there's other Ikena, Borja, Obembe, and Benjamin. The story is told from Benjamin's point of view. Benjamin is the youngest among the 4 brothers, and before I move with before talking about the book, reading this book reminded me of a lot of things, and it reminded me of a professor of history, because back then in school he would say accidents or disasters do not just happen. He said he got from a TV show. I don't remember the TV show, but he said, I'm not going to cite it concerning the book. It said disasters do not just happen, it comes as a series of unfortunate events, and that's what happened in this book. There was a series of unfortunate events that led to what the climax or the big thing that happened to those brothers. First, their father left Akure. And you know, boys, or young children, they're always looking for some sort of adventure, something that will keep their little minds happy and busy. So, first of all, their father leaves Akure. He is a progressive man. He works at the Central Bank of Nigeria. He always had high hopes for his boys. You're going to be a doctor, like Nigerian parents. You're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a professor, you're going to be an engineer and all that. He could not just uproot his family and move out of the town. This came against the will of his wife. She did not support it, leaving her with 6 children. It was quite heavy on her. And these boys, first their father, who always does not waste time wielding the cane, he beats you up. Then he leaves. That's one out. Then they usually play football, and they would come together and buy this football. Then they'll kick it, and maybe it get destroyed or to land on someone else's property, and the person will either destroy the ball or they'll have to find ways to get back their ball. It was just tiring. Not until a friend told them that, okay, we can go fishing. It's even better. We'll catch fish and we'll sell it at the market. Good idea. Let's go. So these brothers, they, against their mother's knowledge, just killed their mother when she found out that her children have been fishing at this forbidden river, Omiala River, for 6 weeks. Was it 6 weeks? Yes, up to 6 weeks, but they had to reduce it to her that it was just for 4 weeks or so, or 3, so that the shock would reduce. But still, it was a big deal. Like in many places in Africa and Nigeria, people always add importance to rivers. People will say that the rivers are gods because of their nature and all sorts of things. That Omiala River was highly respected. The Omiala River was highly respected. Then people started finding the carcass of dead animals and human beings in that same river. So the river was out of bounds. people said, okay, stay away from this river, it's dangerous, it's evil and all that. So I don't know whether the boys did not hear this news, but you know how children are, adventure. So they started fishing in this Omiala river. They didn't even catch any good or fish, but it was all for the adventure. It was all for the thrill of it. We were fishermen and all that, alongside with their friends. They, first of all, they were one that lived this river by one pastor or one prophet that had a church by the river. But no, they continued fishing there. Not until they met with Abulu. Abulu was a notorious madman. I don't know if that makes any sense. He was not liked in the community. People always said he brings bad luck and he has all these bad prophecies to say about people. He had a record of people dying or his prophecy coming to pass. So, on a good day, he met with his brothers and he prophesied that one of the brothers, a fisherman, was going to kill him. A fisherman was going to kill one of the brothers, meaning that the Ikena, who is the eldest among the brothers, was going to die in the hands of his brother. This was what set the ball rolling for a lot of misfortune in the book. It was wild, I kid you not. If you want something that a thrilling or a chilling tale that will keep you at the edge of your seat, I would recommend this book. Go and read The Fisherman. You will be at the edge of your seat. You will be the roller coaster. You know what? Mine was extra because one, I kept myself in that position. That was first of all my plight. That okay, I put myself in Benjamin's position. Just prancing along with the bigger ones, with his elder ones, just wanted to have fun and because the brothers had a very close bond. I really liked it, and all of a sudden, everything, that prophecy just changed every single thing. The mother who had to be dedicated to a mental institution called the shock effect that came, that the consequences that came with that prophecy. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You go and read it yourself. The shock that came with that prophecy scattered the family. The mother had to be committed. The father had grew gray hair. he had to leave his job. He had to come back to Akure. It was a ripple effect, very very strong one. Then also why I felt this narrative so much was since I joined BookTube, I like to try new things, and I like to just let me try this. Then I tried audiobooks. I like audiobooks, but I always feel like audiobooks along with the actual book or the physical copy, be it ebook or the paperback, and that's when I enjoy audiobooks. But with this book, I said, okay, let me try audiobooks. I forgot the name of the right narrator. I'll put a link so you can listen to it. I'll add a link to the description just now. I'll add the description of this. I'll add a link to the description so you can check it out. The narrator was he narrated the story, you'll be feeling it like okay, and you'll be at the end of your seat. So there was this extra effect for me because the narrator was really good. The characters in this book were mostly the brothers, the father, the mother. It really told this family needs or this family bond. And the father is a progressive man. He cares about his family. He was hands-on, but he had to leave for work, and that's understandable. The mother is a mother. She was quite religious, and she tried as much as possible. Although I was angry with the mother sometimes. First of all, I was angry. I know that I've never been a parent before, and I won't really blame her so much, but sometimes I'll just say, Madam, why are you not paying attention enough? And the issue of people having that mindset that, I know that yes, fathers are important, of course, hands down, we know that, and mothers too are important, of course. It's nice to have both parents doing the heavy lifting, yes, but in this situation whereby the man had to leave, I don't really like that fact that people be like, oh, he's a boy, so more he would listen to his a fellow man more, or he would need in his father more. I feel personally that both parents should be able to talk to their children, whether be it a girl or a boy. I don't know if I'm wrong, but that's just my own take in the entire matter. So that woman having that perspective that okay, they need their father. Of course, the boys need their father, but you can also do something. Like she also disciplined them though, but when the boys were not even going apart, she was not firm enough. I wanted her to do more. I wanted her to just sit them down and talk sense into them. Like, this is crazy. She tried her best. She suggested that they go for prayers, like which is a Nigerian thing to do. Nigerians can be very religious at times, and Ikenna refused. The other brother still went for the prayers. I just felt she could do more, honestly. But she tried anyway. She tried. She held the home together when the man was not around. But I felt there was more. Even the part whereby she found out that they were fishing in that river. She said, "I'm going to report to your father." I know that yes, a lot of it didn't happen a lot in Africa. Okay, because most people were like, okay, the father has the upper hand in discipline. But I think that the mother also have upper hand too, and you can do something. I was like, oh, this woman, do something too. You too, you can do something. The thing is, was really, it was falling apart, and she was having anyway. I don't blame her. She had little income there to take care of, and everything was just happening so fast. So I don't blame her. And the period whereby it was not a time where there was so much social media or communication there was a bit of a gap, or there was a gap in communication, and she did not really want to tell him over the phone that, oh, see what's happening with your boys. She didn't want to tell him that, so he had to come home. It was not until the big thing happened that's when he had to come running home, but damage had already been done. Then the character of Ikenna was a face for, okay, he believed in the prophecy so much that he began to eat him up. Got to eat him up so bad. And when it went a long way teaching me that when you take a step back, and it's what you believe in that would happen to you. Honestly, when they told Ikenna about his downfall or what's to come, it already dampened his spirit. He was becoming so suspicious of everything. His brothers that he loved so much, he had to put them at arm's length, or even put them far away from him, just in a bid to avoid the prophecy. He was actually inviting it in. It allowed it to get into his head. It was crazy. Then the second son, Boja. I like Boja, and I felt so much pity for Boja, because you know how siblings love and all that go about, and Boja was close. He was one after Ikenna, and Ikenna just assumed that because of an incident that happened when they were younger, because Ikenna was supposed to leave the country for Canada, but Boja threw away his passport. So and he wasn't angry then. He said because Boja didn't want his brother to leave him in Nigeria. He loved his brother so much, and he was just a child then. And Ikenna understood, but the prophecy just turned everything upside down in Ikenna's head, and Ikenna was like, oh, it's going to be Boja, it's going to kill him. It's going to be Boja. And there's only so much that one can take. Ikenna pushed Boja so far. So far against the wall. Then there's the character of Obembe. Obembe and Benjamin had a close-up bond. They shared a room, and Benjamin is the person that is telling us this story, his point of view, and I really want to just give Benjamin a hug. Even if I go to the end of the book, I was really actually feeling particularly for Benjamin, because he was enjoying, he liked his siblings so much and he loved their bond and he missed it. And I love how his mind works, because he loves animals so much. And when his father was telling them, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, and this one likes animals. And okay, veterinarian is not something that is so big in Nigeria, so he said, okay, you're going to be a professor. And in his narrative, you can see that he likened the human beings, or he likened his family members, or he likened the people he was describing to animals. He would use, so most of the Most of the chapters start with an animal's name or something that like it's an animal. So maybe it's the metamorphosis, then the falconer, the falconet, the eagle, and all sorts of animals that fit, or he used animals to describe his characters. So that added a lot of juice to the story. Okay, and the character of Obulu or Abulu, I hate this character so much. Honestly, I just wanted to eliminate him myself. If I could go into the book, I would have eliminated Abulu. Whenever he just emerges in the scene, there's just some sort of darkness he brings in. And when you think you're in a clear, he emerges. One way or the other, he just comes. And I don't know why, there's this, okay, for people, he's a madman, and most times in Nigeria, these madmen are allowed to walk loose on the streets. They're not really, most of the time, they don't dedicate them or put them in a facility for their mental health. No, most of them just run wild because people say, oh, I can't touch him because they would be violent. So most of the time, these people are just walking on the streets. Wherever they fall asleep, causing fear and terror to a lot of people. I think there are a lot of things that need to change in Nigeria, honestly. Since I was little, this thing have been happening. Now when I see madmen, I won't have extra fear. I'm always scared of people who have this mental who are challenged upstairs. I don't know the term to use or what appropriate term to use, but that's what we call them, a madmen and mad women. So I get scared of them, and my mom told me don't run from a young age. Just act like you don't see them and move on with your life. So now that I've read this story again, it's even extra fear now for me, because Abulu was now the agent or messenger of darkness or messenger of doom. He would tell you this and it would happen. Most people he told, he gave prophecy for, it actually happened to them. So this even added extra fear to Ikena, causing confusion, and he had very despicable character that he displayed in the book in the open. I did not like him at all. And when he died, yes, I'm giving you a spoiler, but I won't tell you who killed him. And when he died, I was kind of happy, and at the same time, I was at the edge of my seat. Oh God, Chigozie Obioma going to put you on a roller coaster that you would love and hate at the same time. You can't stop. Once you start reading this book, you can't stop. You are already in for the ride until the end. This Abu brought. Oh, I hated him. The things in this book, I would say family. Do not underestimate the power of family. To me, if Ikena had just had faith in his family, maybe a lot of things would have been avoided. Then I would also say there was also a theme of corruption and politics in Nigeria in the book. Then but I don't really dwell on this part. Those topics are, I don't really dwell on the part. Then the superstitious believing in superstitions in Nigerian society. Hi. People believe in a lot of things. A lot. I know it's okay to believe in things. Okay, something that's okay, the external force and everything, but sometimes it's extreme. Then there was also the theme of hope for me, because David and Nkem, which were the younger ones that did not, and I liked how Benjamin described the both of them. Like they did not really experience the heydays or when they used to have a lot of things, because the father had to leave his job, had to come back home to the home front that was having a lot of crisis. Even though a lot of things were happening to their brothers at the beginning, and they did not experience the heydays or when things were just nice and simple, but they had the evil or whatever robbed their brothers did not touch them. So it's sort of there was some sort of hope in the book for me. So that was the theme. Yeah. So that's it for my Chigozie Obioma The Fisherman book review. People have said this book is likened to Cain and Abel, I've likened to the story of the Bible story of Cain and Abel. People have likened it to a lot of things. But when I read an article where Chigozie Obioma said the fight between his brothers, the sibling squabble, was what actually inspired his writing, because he imagined what's the worst that can happen from this fight. So that was what prompted his writing, and I like that because there was a lot of honesty in this book. And the imagery was flawless. Chigozie Obioma outdid himself, like I said earlier, and I'll keep on saying it. He did it for me. I talked to my cousin. She recommended this book. She recommended this author, and I was looking for a male author to read, because I noticed that I was always reading books by females, and I said, okay, why don't I go read male authors? It was not something that was intentional. I have a lot of female authors at my disposal that I want to read a male author, and she said, "Oh, Chigozie Obioma is the best bet," and she was right. So I appreciate her. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for watching until the end. I appreciate you for always coming to this channel, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And please stay tuned to my channel. I am all about books. I really love books. Yeah, as you can see. And please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share, talk about it with your friends, and follow me on social media. I'll leave my handles at the description, and I look forward to connecting with you all. So goodbye.